In this lesson, you're going to learn about the slope-intercept equation. Let's begin. This is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. It's called y equals mx plus b. Now there's a lot of letters up there on the screen, but only two of them are permanent, the y and the x. The letters m and b, those variables, represent any given number, which means they vary from problem to problem. So the m and the b variables will be erased and replaced. But the y, the equal sign, and the x, those are permanent parts of your slope-intercept equation. Now the letter m and the letter b represent two totally different things, which is why they're different letters. The letter m, or the variable m, is known as the coefficient of x. And any number in the m position, which is the coefficient of x, is called the slope. The variable b, at the end of the sentence, that's a constant, and that represents the y-intercept, or where the line crosses the y-axis. So again, the number in the m position is called the slope, and the number in the b position is called the y-intercept. If it's a coefficient, that means if it's a number that multiplies x, it's a slope. Now, x can be moved around. It can be either the first item, or it can be the last item. It can be here, or it can actually be moved to after the letter b, like this. So as long as y is alone, wherever x goes, the slope goes. So remember that. The coefficient of x is the slope. I didn't say that x is the slope. I said just the coefficient. So whatever number is right here, that's the slope. Wherever x is, that's where the slope number is. All right, let's take a look at an example here. In my red sentence, y equals 5x plus 2, you'll notice that the letters m and b have been erased and replaced with values. The value of 5 is the coefficient of x, therefore the slope is 5. The constant, or the number at the end of the sentence, is the y-intercept. So this linear graph has a slope of 5, or 5 over 1, and a y-intercept of 2. Let's take a look at some others. In this equation, the slope, which again is the coefficient of x, is actually a negative number, and that's okay. Slope can be a negative value. Now the y-intercept has a positive sign in front of it, so it's a positive 8. The slope is negative 2, the y-intercept is 8. Notice I did not include my x. Slope is a number located next to x, but x is not part of your answer. Let's take a look at another one. Again, the coefficient of x is the slope, so the slope in this problem is 4, and the y-intercept in this problem, be careful, is negative 7. All right, last one. I'm trying to trick you here. Do you think you know the answers? Remember, the slope is the coefficient of x. Wherever x goes, the slope goes. So the slope is actually 6. And the y-intercept is the constant, or the number all by itself. So this time, the y-intercept is 3. All right, I think it's time for you to try some practice problems. In this part of the lesson, you're going to create your own y equals mx plus b sentence, or you're going to write your linear equation by given a particular slope and a particular y-intercept. So if I told you that I wanted you to write the equation of a line that has a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of 7, then you would need to write the 4 in the coefficient position and the 7 in the y-intercept or constant position. this is how it's going to look. The y is permanent, the equal sign is permanent, but the m needs to be replaced with the slope value. The x is permanent. Now, I know the formula has a plus sign, but you don't necessarily have to use it. It depends on your y-intercept. If your y-intercept is a positive 7, then you're going to put a plus sign in front of the 7. So there is the equation of the line that has a slope of 4 and a y-intercept of 7. Let's try another one. Write the equation of a line that has a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of -5, or -5. Here we go. The slope is 2, so that goes next to the letter x, and the y-intercept is a minus or -5. All set. All right, how about this last one here? Write the equation of a line that has a slope of -3 and a y-intercept of 8. Well, it's okay to have a negative coefficient, but don't forget that your y-intercept needs a sign as well. So if it doesn't have one, then you're going to put in your own positive sign. All right, how about this one? Do you think you could write this equation? Did you notice what I did there? Write the equation of a line that has a y-intercept of 9 and a slope of -2. I reversed my sentence. I wrote my y-intercept first and my slope second. So hopefully you caught that. The slope is always the coefficient of x. The y-intercept is always a constant. You could, however, write it in a different order. But just because the y-intercept comes first doesn't mean it gets the letter x. Both of these sentences are completely correct. All right, I think it's time for you to try some practice problems.